The silent arrival, the Empire ruled the stars with pride. For 1,000 years their fleets had crushed all enemies. They believed no one could ever rise against them again. But on one quiet night at the edge of Imperial space, something strange appeared. A patrol ship, small and lonely, drifted near the dark border. Its scanners picked up a weak signal. At first the crew thought it was a mistake. Just static, just noise. But then the signal grew stronger. It came from the deep void, from a place where no colony, no station, no ship should exist. The captain of the patrol frowned. "Identify the source," he ordered. The crew tapped their screens, nervous. The computer ran its code, searching for answers. But the result was strange. The ship was not listed in the Empire's vast database. No ID code, no registry, no history, nothing. "Impossible," whispered one officer. "Every ship in the galaxy is recorded." The scanner showed more. The object was huge, bigger than any battleship the Empire owned. It moved with slow, heavy purpose like a beast rising from the deep sea. The patrol crew felt cold fear. The captain tried to stay calm. "Send a hail. Demand identification." They sent the message. No reply. They tried again. Still silence. Then, out of the darkness, the unknown ship emerged. Its surface was black and scarred, but alive with hidden power. Its size made the patrol ship look like an insect. A giant shadow, a floating fortress, the crew whispered to one another. "It looks old, ancient." "No, not ancient, human." That word made the captain freeze. Human? That could not be true. The Empire had destroyed Earth centuries ago. They had burned its cities, crushed its armies, and silenced its people. Humanity was gone, dead, forgotten. That was the history every Imperial child learned in school. So how could a human ship appear now? The Dreadnought, silent and dark, gave no answers. It simply drifted closer, blocking out the stars. The captain's voice trembled as he gave the order. "Send a warning shot. Just one. Let them know we mean business." The patrol fired a beam of energy, small but bright. It struck the Dreadnought's hull. The energy faded away like rain on stone. The massive ship did not even flinch. Then something terrifying happened. The Dreadnought's surface shimmered. Its weapons came alive. Blue light ran across its sides like veins of fire. The scanner screamed in alarm. The power levels were beyond anything the patrol had ever seen. One officer gasped. "That ship, it carries the power of a whole fleet." Fear spread through the patrol crew. The captain swallowed hard. "Retreat. Send word to command. Tell them what we saw." The message went out. The Empire would know. But before the patrol could escape, the Dreadnought finally answered. A deep voice cut through their speakers. It was calm, cold, human. "This is Earth's vengeance." The crew froze in horror. It was true. Humans had survived. And now they had returned. The voice continued. "The Empire's time is over. Surrender, or face extinction." The patrol ship shook as the Dreadnought released a warning blast. A beam of light, wide as a city, shot past them. It did not strike, but it was enough to slice a small moon in half. The broken moon cracked, glowing with fire, drifting into pieces. The patrol crew stared with wide eyes. If the beam had touched them, they would have vanished without a trace. The captain whispered the words that every Imperial feared to say. "We cannot fight this." Across the galaxy, the Empire's leaders received the message. They gathered in their halls, listening to the recording again and again. Their faces turned pale. "This cannot be," said one general. "Earth is dead," said another. But that voice, that power. Silence filled the room. One old scholar spoke at last, his voice shaking. "We feared this day. We buried the truth. We thought humans were weak. But they are not weak. They are patient. And now they have come for us." The Empire's worst fear had arrived. An unidentified Earth dreadnought, larger and stronger than anything in known space. And it was only the beginning. First contact. First fear. The Empire did not sleep that night. From the outer colonies to the Emperor's throne, one message echoed across the stars. An unidentified Earth dreadnought has returned. Commanders called emergency meetings. Fleets scrambled to battle stations. Citizens whispered in fear. Was it true? Had humanity really survived? The Emperor, seated on his golden throne, refused to show weakness. "Send a fleet," he commanded. "One ship is nothing against the power of the Empire." But deep inside, even he felt a shadow of doubt. The confrontation. Near the border, the Imperial fleet arrived. Dozens of cruisers, destroyers, and carriers took formation. Their engines burned bright, filling the void with imperial pride. At their center was the flagship Valorous, carrying Admiral Rivek, a man known for his ruthless victories. He watched the giant black dreadnought on the screen. His lips curled into a smirk. "One ship dares to face me. Let us teach these ghosts a lesson." He raised his hand. "Fire a warning volley." The fleet obeyed. Hundreds of beams of energy shot forward, lighting up the darkness. Explosions wrapped around the dreadnought like a storm. For a moment, the crews cheered. No ship could survive that barrage, but then, silence. The explosions faded. The dreadnought remained. Untouched, not even a scratch on its dark hull. Fear spread across the fleet. Admiral Rivek slammed his fist on the armrest. Impossible. And then it happened. The dreadnought's surface glowed with cold blue light. Its weapons came alive. The scanner screamed in alarm. Power levels rose far beyond anything Imperial ships could produce. A single blast erupted. It tore through 3 destroyers in an instant. They vanished in fire, debris scattering into the void. The crews did not even have time to scream. The fleet froze. The voice. Then came the voice. Calm, cold, human. "This is the Nemesis. We are Earth's last sons and daughters. We have not forgotten. We have not forgiven. The Empire will fall." Every soldier on every ship felt a chill. The voice carried weight, like a ghost from the grave. Admiral Rivek tried to keep his men steady. "They bluff!" "Focus fire, all ships." The Imperial fleet unleashed its full power. Missiles, plasma, railguns, every weapon fired. The stars themselves seemed to explode with light, and yet the Nemesis moved through the fire like a predator. Its shields rippled but held strong. Its return fire was precise, merciless. Each shot destroyed a ship. Not wasted, not wild. Every strike chosen. The Imperials realized with horror. This was not madness. This was strategy. The humans fought with discipline. They knew exactly where to strike. One cruiser after another vanished in fire. The Imperial fleet, once proud, was now in chaos. The fear on the bridge of the Valorous, panic spread. Officers shouted, begging for orders. "Admiral, we cannot break their shields. They are cutting through us like paper." "Request retreat, Admiral." Rivek's face twisted with rage. "Cowards. We are the Empire. We do not run from ghosts." But deep down, even he knew the truth. They were losing. The human voice returned, calm as ever. "Empire, hear us. This is your one chance. Leave. Surrender, or your fleets will burn." The Imperial soldiers listened, their hands trembling. Many wanted to obey. None dared to say it aloud. A demonstration. The Nemesis released another blast. This time it did not aim at a ship. Instead, the beam cut across space, striking a nearby asteroid the size of a mountain. The rock shattered into a billion glowing fragments. The pieces drifted past the Imperial fleet, burning like falling stars. The message was clear. This power could destroy worlds. The Imperial fleet went silent. Not a word. Not a shot. Just fear. Admiral Rivek sat frozen in his chair. His pride told him to fight. His instincts told him to flee. His men watched him, waiting, hoping for survival. At last he spoke with a cracked voice. "Fall back. Retreat. Now." The fleet turned, engines burning. One by one, the ships fled into hyperspace, leaving behind the silent shadow of the Nemesis. The aftermath, when the fleet reached Imperial command, the reports were grim. Over half the ships destroyed. Survivors shaken. Admiral Rivek disgraced, but the worst part was not the loss. The worst part was the message. Humanity had returned, and they carried a dreadnought that could not be stopped. In secret meetings, the generals argued. Some demanded more fleets. Some begged for peace. None had an answer. The Emperor sat in silence, his fists clenched. The fear in his eyes betrayed the truth. For the first time in 1,000 years, the Empire faced an enemy they could not understand. An enemy they thought dead, an enemy that had waited in the shadows. Humanity had survived. Humanity was angry, and this was only the beginning. Secrets of the past, the Empire was restless. Entire worlds whispered in fear. Merchants closed their trade routes. Citizens stayed awake at night, staring at the stars, wondering if the shadow of that black dreadnought would appear above their skies. The Emperor ordered silence. No panic, he demanded, no fear. Humanity is dead. But in secret, his advisors knew the truth. The Nemesis had spoken. Earth had returned. And somewhere in the forgotten past lay the reason why. Digging into history, inside the Imperial Archive, a fortress of data buried beneath layers of security, two scholars worked late into the night. They were summoned by the Emperor himself. The elder, Scholar Varen, was thin with tired eyes. The younger Lyra was curious, her mind sharp like a blade. Together they searched forbidden records, files sealed for centuries. "What are we looking for?" Lyra asked softly. "The truth," Varen whispered. "The truth the Empire has hidden." Old holograms flickered to life, dusty reports, battle logs, secret orders. They showed images of Earth, blue oceans, green lands, and cities filled with life. Humanity had not been weak. Humanity had been strong, inventive, stubborn. The records revealed the Empire's fear. They feared Earth would rise too fast, Lyra said. Her voice shook. They feared humanity could challenge them. Varen nodded grimly. So they did not wait. They struck first. The files told a brutal story. Imperial fleets had surrounded Earth. They bombarded its cities, shattered its defenses, burned its surface. Billions died in fire. Yet the last lines of the report chilled them both. Survivors unconfirmed. Resistance scattered. Some ships escaped into deep space, Lyra whispered. They survived. Varen closed his eyes. And now they return, carrying vengeance. The Emperor's anger in his throne room, the Emperor listened to the report. His face turned pale. "So the past returns to haunt us," he growled. "We should have crushed them completely. We should have left nothing alive." A general spoke carefully. "My Emperor, perhaps. We could negotiate." The Emperor's eyes burned with fury. Negotiate? With ghosts? With vermin? Never. Humanity will be erased again. But deep in his heart he remembered that night long ago, when he was only a prince, watching the skies of Earth burn. He remembered the cries, the screams carried across radio waves before silence, and he remembered the strange courage of the humans who refused to beg. They had not been afraid then. They would not be afraid now. The people's fear across the Empire, ordinary citizens heard rumors. The patrol crews who survived the Dreadnought battle could not stay silent. They spoke of a single beam cutting a moon in half. They spoke of shields that no weapon could pierce. Fear spread like fire. In market streets, workers whispered, "The humans are back." In soldier barracks, men muttered, "We cannot win." In schools, children asked their teachers, "Why did we destroy Earth?" The Empire's lies began to crumble. A hidden survivor. While the Emperor raged, another story unfolded. On a distant mining colony, an old man sat in silence. His name was Kalen, a retired pilot. Few knew his secret. Long ago, as a young soldier, he had flown in the war against Earth. He remembered the day his fleet had attacked. He remembered the screams of civilians, the desperate human fighters throwing themselves against impossible odds. And he remembered one last ship, a small Terran vessel vanishing into hyperspace with stolen technology. They carried something, he muttered to himself, something important. His grandson asked, "What did they carry?" Kalen's eyes darkened. The heart of Earth. Their last hope. The Nemesis speaks again. As fear grew, the Nemesis moved deeper into Imperial space. Entire star systems fell silent as the black Dreadnought arrived. But it did not fire on civilians. It did not burn colonies. Instead, it sent a single message to all. We are not conquerors. We are justice. We strike only the Empire. Civilians who flee will be spared. Soldiers who lay down arms will live. But those who serve the Emperor's cruelty will burn. For the first time in history, the Empire's people began to doubt their ruler. Some whispered that the humans were not monsters, but liberators. A secret uncovered back in the archive. Scholar Lyra uncovered a final file. Its code was so old, so hidden, it nearly vanished into dust. She opened it and gasped. It showed an image of a crystal sphere, a glowing AI core. Inside it, the last knowledge of Earth stolen by the Empire during the attack. "This," Lyra whispered, "is what they want. This is why they have returned." Varen trembled. "If they recover it, the Empire is finished. That core holds everything Earth was and everything they could become again." They stared at the glowing image. Knowing the truth could no longer be hidden. The rising storm, the Emperor stood before his generals. His voice was thunder. The humans want what we stole. They will come for it. They will come for me. Then let them come. I will face them myself. But his hands trembled when no one could see, for in his heart he knew the past was alive. The humans had survived, and they were no longer weak. This was not just war. This was vengeance written in the stars, and the Empire's darkest secret was finally revealed. Fire across the stars, the Empire could not hide its fear any longer. The Dreadnought nemesis had cut through their fleets like a blade through paper. But pride would not let them surrender. Instead, they prepared for the largest battle in centuries. Admiral Kale, the Emperor's most trusted warlord, was summoned. He was a man of iron discipline, scarred from 100 battles. Unlike others, he did not underestimate the humans. He studied the reports in silence. One dreadnought is dangerous, Kale said. But if there are more, the Emperor cut him off. Then you will destroy them. Take the Grand Armada. Show the galaxy the Empire still rules the stars. The gathering storm soon, hundreds of Imperial ships filled the void. Battleships, carriers, destroyers, and swarms of fighters gathered like a sea of fire. The fleet stretched across the stars, proud banners glowing on their hulls. It was the greatest display of power the galaxy had seen in generations. Citizens across the Empire watched the broadcasts, their voices trembling with hope. Surely this will be enough, they whispered. No ship can stand against so many. But far from their eyes, hidden in the cold void, two black shadows drifted. The Nemesis. And another. A second Earth dreadnought had arrived. The battle begins. The Armada detected them first as faint blips. But the blips grew larger, closer, until the truth was clear. Two massive ships faced hundreds. Admiral Kale gave the order. His voice was steady, though his men felt dread. Form battle lines. All ships advanced. The Empire's fleet moved forward, engines burning like suns. Thousands of weapons locked onto the two dreadnoughts. Open fire, Kale commanded. The void exploded with light. Missiles, plasma, railgun slugs, all launched in a storm that could wipe out a planet. The stars vanished behind fire. For a moment it seemed victory was certain. But when the flames cleared, the dreadnoughts still lived. Their shields glowed bright but unbroken, and then the humans struck back, precision and fury. The Nemesis fired first. A single beam lanced out, slicing through 5 destroyers in one shot. The ships split apart like toys, their wreckage scattering into the void. The second dreadnought followed, launching a storm of railgun rounds. They punched through Imperial armor as if it were paper. Every round was aimed with perfect precision. The Imperials tried to respond, but chaos spread quickly, shields failing. Multiple hull breaches. We've lost control of the flank. Admiral Kale gritted his teeth. He saw the truth. The humans fought differently. Not with brute force, but with strategy. Every shot had a purpose. Every strike crippled key systems. They know our weaknesses, Kale whispered. They studied us. Fear across the fleet. In the heart of the Armada, panic grew. Pilots abandoned formations. Cruisers tried to retreat, colliding with one another in the chaos. The dreadnoughts pressed forward, silent and relentless. Their black hulls reflected the burning wreckage of Imperial ships. Then came the voice again, broadcast across all channels. This is Earth. We do not seek conquest. We seek justice. Surrender and live. Resist and be erased. Some crews froze. Others threw down their arms, shutting down their weapons. A few even sent secret signals of surrender. But Admiral Kyle refused. Kyle's stand on the bridge of his flagship. Kyle stood tall. His officers begged him to retreat. Admiral, we are losing too many ships. We cannot hold them back. Kale's voice was steady. We are the Empire. If we fall here, the galaxy will see our weakness. I will not allow it. He ordered his flagship and the nearest battleships to charge straight at the Nemesis. The massive Imperial ships unleashed everything they had, weapons blazing. The void shook with fire. For a moment, it looked like courage might break through. But the Nemesis answered with silence and then a devastating beam. Kale's battleships vanished in white light, torn apart like paper. His flagship shuddered, flames ripping across the hull. Still, Kyle stood tall. Do not fear them, he said to his crew. Fear is their weapon. Fight until the end. Moments later, his flagship exploded. The turning point, the Armada broke. Without Kale, discipline shattered. Ships fled in every direction. Fighters scattered, their formations lost. The once proud Armada became a storm of fire and wreckage. The two dreadnoughts did not chase the fleeing ships. They simply advanced step by step deeper into Imperial space. Watching from afar, Imperial citizens saw the truth on their screens. Their greatest fleet, their pride, had been destroyed by only 2 ships. Whispers spread like a plague. The Emperor cannot save us. The humans cannot be stopped. Maybe they are right. The Emperor's rage in his throne room, the Emperor's face twisted with fury. He smashed his golden cup to the ground. 2 ships, he roared. 2 ships destroyed my armada. His generals bowed in silence, none daring to speak. The Emperor's eyes narrowed. Summon every weapon, every soldier. We will drown them in blood, and find what they seek before they take it. But deep down, even he knew the truth. The humans were not just stronger. They were smarter, patient, relentless. And now the galaxy itself began to doubt him. The shadow of Earth, the Nemesis and its twin, drifted through the wreckage of the Armada. Fires burned across the stars. Inside the Dreadnought's bridge, the human commander stood silent. His scarred face watched the fleeing Imperial ships. They will send more, one officer said. The commander nodded. His voice was calm, certain. Let them. The Empire is already breaking. We have only just begun. The 2 dreadnoughts turned, engines glowing as they moved deeper into Imperial space. And across the galaxy, fear followed. The human commander, the galaxy had seen the fire. The Grand Armada was gone, and 2 black dreadnoughts moved deeper into Imperial space like silent hunters. But the Empire still asked one question. Who commanded them? Inside the Nemesis was no ordinary ship. Its halls were wide and dark, filled with steel and silence. Ancient human banners hung on the walls, marked with scars from long wars. Soldiers walked the corridors in discipline, their faces hardened by centuries of exile. At the heart of the Dreadnought sat the command bridge. Screens glowed with starlight, maps of enemy fleets, and whispers of intercepted transmissions. And there, standing at the center, was the man the Empire feared without even knowing his name. He was tall, scarred, with cold eyes that carried the weight of history. His uniform was black, trimmed with silver. The emblem of old Earth burned on his chest, a blue circle with a single star at its heart. His officers called him Commander Auric Vale. But to the soldiers of the Empire, he was only the voice of Earth's vengeance. The speech Vale stood before his crew. They had fought bravely, defeating fleets many times their size. But victory was not enough. They needed purpose. His voice was deep and steady, carrying across the bridge. We are not conquerors. We are survivors. Centuries ago, the Empire came to our world. They burned our skies. They killed our families. They thought Earth would vanish in silence. He paused, his eyes narrowing. But Earth remembers, and Earth returns. Every star we cross, every battle we win, carries the memory of the dead. We fight not for conquest, but for justice. The crew stood in silence, their hearts heavy, their resolve stronger. Some bowed their heads. Others clenched their fists. Vale continued, softer now. We spare those who surrender. We give civilians a choice. We are not monsters like the Empire. We are human. The bridge erupted in quiet nods of respect. They would follow him into fire. A whisper from the AI behind Vale, a console flickered. A voice spoke, soft and mechanical, yet strangely human. It was the AI core, the stolen heart of Earth's knowledge. A fragment of it had been recovered by the Nemesis long ago, though the rest was still trapped within the Empire. Commander, the AI said, Imperial records confirm the artifact remains in the Emperor's vault. Without it, our strength will fade. Vale nodded. Then we go to the throne itself. The crew gasped quietly. No one had ever dared to march straight to the Emperor's world. But Vale's expression was calm, unshaken. The Empire believes we seek revenge. They are wrong. We seek what is ours. The Empire watches across the Empire. Spies sent stolen images of Vale back to the throne. His face was projected before the Emperor and his generals. The Emperor leaned forward, eyes narrow. So this is the ghost who dares defy me, he hissed. A single man holding my empire hostage. One general whispered, he does not fight like a barbarian. He fights like us. Smarter than us. The Emperor struck the table with his fist. He is nothing. A relic of a dead world, and soon he will be ash, but deep down fear gnawed at him. Vale's calm eyes reminded him of something dangerous, something the Empire had never destroyed. Human determination. Doubt in the Empire among the citizens. Vale's speeches spread like wildfire. Smugglers carried recordings. Workers listened in secret. Soldiers whispered in their barracks, "He spares civilians. He fights only the Empire's armies. Maybe the humans are not monsters. Maybe they are saviors." The seeds of rebellion began to grow. Vale's burden alone in his quarters, Commander Vale stared at an old relic, a broken fragment of earth soil sealed in glass. It was all that remained of his family's home. He remembered the stories his ancestors told, how Earth's oceans glowed, how its skies were blue, how its people dreamed of peace before the Empire came. His hand tightened on the glass. "I will not fail you," he whispered. Outside, the stars burned with war, but inside, Vale's heart carried a quiet fire. The next step on the bridge, Vale stood again. His officers awaited orders. "Set course for the Imperial capital," he commanded. "We will take back what was stolen. We will face the Emperor himself." The Nemesis and its twin Dreadnought turned, their engines glowing with fierce light. As they moved, Vale spoke once more to his crew. "The galaxy believes the Empire is eternal, but eternity ends today. We are the reminder they tried to erase. We are the shadow they cannot kill. We are Earth." The crew roared in response. The cliffhanger far away in his throne room, the Emperor stared at the glowing AI core locked inside its chamber. It pulsed with blue light, almost alive, almost aware. He clenched his fists. "Let them come," he whispered. "I will show them what true fear is." The Nemesis drew closer. The storm was coming. The Emperor's fear. The Emperor sat alone in his throne room, staring at a sealed chamber at the far end. The chamber was guarded by steel doors thicker than starship hulls, locked with codes known only to him. Behind those doors pulsed a faint blue light, steady, alive, waiting. Inside was the artifact the humans sought, the Earth AI core. It had been taken centuries ago during Earth's fall. Scientists whispered that it contained the memory of Earth itself, knowledge, strategies, and even the voices of the dead. For decades, the Emperor had feared it. He kept it hidden, never daring to destroy it, never daring to use it. And now the Nemesis was coming for it. The Emperor's hands trembled as he lifted a goblet of wine. The liquid spilled. He cursed and slammed it aside. For the first time in his reign, fear had cracked his armor. The Council of Shadows, the generals, stood before him. Their faces were pale, their pride shattered after Kyle's fleet was destroyed. "My Emperor," one spoke carefully, "if they reach this world, even our strongest defenses may fail. Perhaps we should negotiate." The Emperor's voice turned to ice. "Negotiate? With ghosts of a dead world? No, we will drown them in fire. And if fire is not enough, then shadows will do the work." He raised his hand. Silent figures stepped forward. Imperial assassins clad in black, trained for one purpose only, to kill the impossible. "You will infiltrate the Nemesis," the Emperor commanded. "You will cut out its heart. No ship, no commander, no ghost will leave this galaxy alive." The assassins bowed, their faces hidden, their eyes like knives. The Nemesis under threat far away. The Nemesis drifted across the void, moving closer to Imperial territory. On its bridge, Commander Vale studied the stars. His officers discussed strategies, unaware that death already stalked them. In the silence of space, a small Imperial craft glided toward the Dreadnought. Cloaked, invisible, it latched onto the Nemesis's hull like a parasite. The assassins began their work. They cut through the armor, moving through the ship's dark corridors. Silent as shadows, they slit the throats of guards, sabotaged power conduits, planted charges along the engine core. The Nemesis trembled as systems flickered. Lights dimmed. Alarms screamed. "Commander!" an officer cried. "Saboteurs on board." Vale's eyes narrowed. "Seal the decks. Hunt them down." Battle inside the beast. The Nemesis turned into a battlefield within itself. Soldiers clashed in narrow corridors, plasma blades cutting through steel. Explosions rocked the ship as assassins triggered charges. Vale himself joined the fight. His scarred face glowed in the red emergency lights as he fired his weapon, striking down enemies with deadly precision. But the assassins were skilled. They were not ordinary soldiers. They were ghosts of the Empire, trained for silence, trained to kill even commanders. One assassin lunged at Vale with twin blades. Vale barely blocked, sparks flying as metal clashed. The assassin hissed, "The Emperor sends his regards." Vale shoved him back, eyes blazing. "Tell your Emperor." "Earth does not kneel." He fired point blank. The assassin fell. The core awakens amid the chaos. Something else stirred. Deep inside the Nemesis, the fragment of the Earth AI core pulsed with light. It had sensed danger. It had sensed the Empire's shadow. The ship's systems flickered back to life, guided not by human hands but by the AI itself. Voice filled the halls, calm and steady. "Do not fear. Earth endures." Soldiers rallied, fighting with renewed strength. Systems rebooted, shields reactivated, weapons came online. The assassins were driven back, cornered, hunted. But before the last assassin died, he whispered into his comm, "The Emperor will know." The Nemesis bleeds, and with a final explosion, part of the engine core went dark. The Nemesis shook violently. The Emperor's reaction. The Emperor's reaction back in his palace, the Emperor received the report. A cruel smile spread across his face. "So," he whispered, "the mighty Nemesis is not invincible after all." But when he turned toward the sealed chamber, his smile faded. The AI core glowed brighter, as if it had heard the news, as if it were alive. The Emperor stepped closer, his hand trembling. He could feel its pulse, feel its presence pressing against his mind. For years he had locked it away. For years he had feared it. Now he wondered, what if the humans unlocked it? Would it remember him? Would it judge him? Vale's resolve on the Nemesis, the fires were put out. The dead were counted. The wounded were carried away. Vale stood on the bridge, his face shadowed by anger. His ship was damaged but alive, his crew shaken but loyal. He looked out into the stars toward the Emperor's world. "They sent assassins because they fear us," Vale said quietly, "and fear is the beginning of their fall." An officer asked, "What now, Commander?" Vale's eyes hardened. "Now, we strike at the heart. The Emperor's palace hides what belongs to us, and nothing will stop us from taking it back." The crew straightened, their fear turning to fire. The Nemesis limped forward, engines wounded but burning with determination. The second dreadnought moved beside it like a silent guardian, and together they set their course for the Imperial capital. The cliffhanger far behind sealed doors, the AI core pulsed faster. The Emperor sat on his throne, staring into its glow. For the first time he whispered, not with pride but with dread. "If they reach this world, the galaxy itself may change forever." The Nemesis came closer. The storm of vengeance had not ended. It had only begun. The ghost awakens. The Nemesis drifted in the void like a wounded beast. Its great hull was scarred, engines weak, and half its lights were gone. Smoke filled its corridors, fires burned in its hangars, and hundreds of crew lay injured. The Empire spread the news like wildfire. The Nemesis is crippled. Across Imperial worlds, citizens cheered. At last, the impossible shadow was broken. The Emperor stood before his council with pride in his voice. "See, they bleed. They are not gods. They are only men." But even as he spoke, doubt lingered in his eyes. The wounded dreadnought inside the Nemesis. The mood was grim. Soldiers carried their dead through dark corridors. Engineers fought to keep systems alive. The crew whispered in fear. What if the ship cannot fight again? What if the Empire finishes us now? Commander Auric Vale stood on the bridge, his uniform torn, his face lit by dying screens. His officers looked to him for strength, but even Vale felt the weight of despair. "We live," he said quietly. "That is enough for now." The second dreadnought hovered nearby, guarding them, but even it could not shield them forever. Imperial fleets prowled the edges of the system, waiting like vultures. The Emperor's confidence from his throne, the Emperor issued a command. "Prepare the victory broadcast. Tell the galaxy the humans are defeated." His generals bowed, though some exchanged uneasy glances. They had seen the Nemesis survive worse. But no one dared to speak against him. The Emperor walked alone to the sealed chamber that held the AI core. Its blue glow pulsed brighter than before, almost mocking him. He pressed his hand against the cold steel. "You belong to me," he whispered. "Not to them. Not ever." But the glow only grew stronger, as if answering his fear. The silence before the storm on the Nemesis. All was quiet. Life support was failing. Engines were weak. The crew waited for death. Then deep in the ship's core something stirred. The fragment of the stolen Earth AI, damaged, incomplete, suddenly awoke. Its voice spread across the intercom, calm and steady. "Do not fear." "Earth does not die," the crew gasped. Lights flickered on. Screens glowed with new strength. Systems rebooted one by one. The Nemesis shuddered, not with pain but with rebirth. Vale stepped forward, his eyes wide. "It's the AI," he whispered. "It's waking." The ghost awakens. The AI spoke again, louder this time. "I am the memory of Earth. I am the echo of your lost world. I am the voice of billions who fell in fire. And I will not let you perish." The ship's engines roared back to life. Weapons glowed brighter than before. Shields shimmered with new power. The crew felt a wave of strength run through them as if the dead of Earth stood beside them. Engineers cried out in awe. "The systems are repairing themselves. Energy output is higher than ever before." The Nemesis rose from the void like a ghost reborn. The Empire's shock Imperial fleets nearby detected the surge. Their scanners screamed with warnings. "It's impossible," an officer shouted. "The ship is alive again." On the throne world, the Emperor slammed his fist against the armrest. His generals trembled as reports came in. "The Nemesis has powered up, my Emperor. Its energy levels exceed previous limits. It is stronger now." The Emperor's eyes blazed with rage. No, this cannot be." But the truth was clear. The Nemesis had awakened, and with it the ghost of Earth itself. The AI's memory on the bridge. Vale heard the AI whisper to him, not just as a machine, but as a presence almost human. "I carry their voices," it said. "I remember the oceans, the skies, the laughter of children. I remember the fire that destroyed them. You are not alone, Commander. Earth walks with you." Vale closed his eyes. For the first time, he felt the weight of his mission lighten. It was not only his burden anymore. It was shared by the billions who had once called Earth home. He opened his eyes, filled with fire. "Then together we finish this." The Nemesis reborn, the Dreadnought's hull glowed with blue light, repairing itself as the AI spread through its systems. Weapons hummed with deadly energy. Engines blazed like suns. The second Dreadnought joined it, and together they turned toward the Imperial capital. Vale raised his hand. "Set course. The Emperor waits, and so does our destiny." The crew roared, their fear gone, replaced by fierce determination. The Emperor's dread in the throne room. The Emperor felt the AI core behind the sealed chamber pulse harder, brighter, as if it were answering its sibling within the Nemesis. He could no longer hide his fear. He whispered to himself, his voice shaking, "The ghost has awakened, and it comes for me." The cliffhanger, the Nemesis surged forward stronger than ever, guided by human hands and Earth's forgotten soul. The second Dreadnought followed, engines blazing. The final march to the Imperial homeworld had begun, and the galaxy held its breath.